Hey,
Hi everyone. Hey Chico.
hi. Ooh, good to be here with you, PK.
Good to be here with you too. I'm really excited to comment on the game that we're going to be watching tonight. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a cool. We have these daily games at Discord, and they are always very, very much fun, right? We have good players. We have John, Wes, and Madu.
Hmm.
They are really good players indeed.
They're all really
And
players. I'm very excited to see if someone else is like going to come and join the group or if they're going to play with a bot because the bot's going to make things interesting, if not for anything else.
oh yeah, and they are really good to get a feel for the game, right? To get a feel for the dynamic for because something really interesting is like how to join attacks, and the bots are really they're great fun to do that, right? Because they propose crazy uh things, right? Hey, Laura's on the chat.
Hey
So good to see
Laura.
you today.
Oh my gosh.
What did I
No,
miss?
I'm just excited. People are
Oh,
coming.
okay.
No, Chico, I hate you. That was a joke. It may not be funny, but it was supposed to be funny.
I see. Well, I it was a good effort. It was a
Oh,
good
thanks.
effort. Well, since you work, couldn't miss this live. Yeah. So good to have you here, Laura, actually. And we're going to be taking a look at the chat. So, everyone, please feel free to join the conversation, right? It's nice to watch a game with friends and see different possibilities. And I think,
Yeah,
when you play, sorry, you
go
go.
ahead. I was just going to say, if you
No.
see something that we don't catch, like, please tell us. Um, the more.
All right. All right. All right. So, I think they are on Discord right now.
Mhm.
And they are waiting for the fourth player to jump in and probably discussing, do we play with the bot? Should we wait a couple of minutes? And we're gonna be on that. And Laura is asking who's winning the 5 points today. Who's you betting in, Laura? Do you have any favorites? And you, Pri, what do you think about it?
I think West is going to win, but I always think West is going to win. So I
I
have,
see.
I make no pretenses about the fact that I think West is an incredible player. So
Yeah, yeah. Wes is a very solid player, right? I think Wes is very intelligent in reading the dynamic of the game
mhm.
because this is really interesting when what is the momentum? Where should I go? What should I encourage in this moment, right? So, so I think he's a good bet. I don't know. I think, oh, Dominique jump in. Hey, Dominique. Well,
Ooh,
Dominique's probably
hey,
not hearing
Dominique.
us because she's playing, but so good to have
No.
you here.
Oh, this is going to be fun. What a cool
Ooh,
game.
yeah, that's a really cool game. I don't know. I think everyone's strong here.
For sure.
John is a very good player. I think he usually struggles with time, and that's something he probably is working with.
Hmm.
So let's see how he does it today. Madhu too. I was studying one of the Madhu's checkmate lately, and it was beautiful with the bishop. So I think he's a player full of surprises, right? So I
For
don't
sure.
know. I think today we're gonna see what's gonna pay off more, like a more solid player playing or a more creative one. I
For
think.
sure. I totally agree. I think I would agree on your read on literally everybody for sure. Um, yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be so interesting, especially because like I think like to add to that, I've played with Dominique only a couple of times, so I'm not super familiar with her playing style, but she's quite like gentle in her approach, and so it's like a very interesting energy to balance out like what's coming and what's happening, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. She's very gentle, but then she just like sharp and do the mate. I saw that happen a couple of times, and it's really really cool, right? She just like boom, and it's checkmate. I
Oh,
like it. I like that. Well, I
yeah.
think they're. Let's check on
That's gonna.
Discord. Yeah, I think they're about to start. All
Oh,
right.
amazing. Wonderful.
And 5, 4, well, 3, 2, 1, 0, and start. And but I think that's an interesting thing to do because I mean, when you play a game, you usually try to
Mhm.
take a look of all different points of view because you supposedly is kind of imagine what the other players are doing, right? So you can react and strategize and etc. But I think when you're watching, I think the detachment of it or something make everything clearer, right? What do you think, Priya? I always feel like that when I'm watching a game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I always find that when I have the chance to sit back and not be the person who's making decisions, it's great because everything is so apparent. In fact, like even like games I play, like when I'm in the moment, I don't see like so many possibilities. And the minute you step out and you're just looking back once the game is done and you're out of that environment, suddenly you're like, oh wait, I had made 6 moves ago and I missed it because I was so focused
Yeah.
on what I thought I needed. So totally with you.
No, and there's the thing. I mean, it's so obvious move. I mean, what are you doing? What? But then do you play? I mean, it's everything is kind of foggy, right? And I think it's a very I don't know. For me, it's kind of a meditating game. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping a little bit, right? But I always felt that's like the best games for me. I usually play with music. I think I commented on
Mhm.
one of our posts on Instagram. I think was on your Instagram profile, right? Which was really really
Yeah, it
cool
was.
and
You
cute.
mentioned Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, I mean because music helped me to put me on a more relaxed kind of mood, right? And you don't get so tense playing and etc. Well,
Interesting.
enough
Do you
about
not?
me. Sorry, you go.
I was just curious. Do you not feel ever like distracted by that?
No, I don't know if it's my relation with music, but I think it's a little bit about because you I feel more relaxed and I think that helped my game because you I don't know, it's like when you play when I mean I play piano, when you play piano and you're like so tense, things doesn't flow so much, right? But when you're
Yeah.
like in a more cool everything kind of I don't know. Sound I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's
I
not
think
too
I
crazy,
do.
but
And
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I will take your suggestion seriously and actually try playing with music. However, I also like your suggestion of going back to the game and seeing what's happening.
So I think Dominique in a couple of moves ago proposed an attack on Madus on black, but yeah, pony part. Yeah, we almost had a pony part on the middle of the board, right? Yeah, the pony part.
Oh, we're so close again.
You
Oh
can
my
do it,
God.
Dominique. Oh, Dominique didn't pick up the lead. But
Oh, I love ever since Natalie started saying that, I can never unsee it. And sometimes I will just do that move just so that we can all be on the board together. And then that's it. And it's fine. There's no other
well, I
reason
think
I would.
we had a chance. We had a chance. We, let's see what black does. Wow, green can do it. You can do it, Dominique. You can put the horse on G6.
Oh,
Ah, it went away. Anyway, but I think what we're seeing right now. What do you think, Priyanka? I see that I think we are seeing the usual. Let's try to influence people to attack other people together. Let's be friends attacking that other color, right? And we're like, I don't
yeah.
trust you that much, at
Yeah,
least
the
now.
energy feels very fluid at the moment where everyone's just like I'm gonna hop in here and just see if anyone's gonna bite. And if no one's gonna bite, I'm just gonna come back to my zone and chill
Yeah.
until next
And
game.
horses are amazing to do it, right? Because they can jump, you don't have to open. Because that's the thing, when you open a pawn line, that's kind of a commitment. Oh, pawn party was always done.
Oh no, Dominique.
Yeah, where? Oh, and she's so far away. At least 3 moves to
Yeah,
get
it was
the.
not gonna. And she has no real way to do it at the moment without unnecessarily losing a piece.
Oh, I think that's a start. Then horse go to I5, and then the horse go. Oh
Oh
no,
no, Wes!
hopeless. Yeah, they just don't get the important part of the game, right?
I don't.
Such as
I just want a pony party. This is not a lot to ask for in this life, I feel.
it's just like, come on, guys, focus on the
Get on
important
my
thing,
priority list. Yeah, I swear.
right?
Oh,
No,
but
but
that's
that's the thing. Like when you walk with pawns and open lines, this kind of commitment, right?
yeah.
And then
Ooh, we have to make another pony party again. Is it gonna happen?
no,
Wes is breaking my heart. I'm so unhappy.
and Wes is losing his place in your in your high. He's losing your high esteem. Maybe that's a better phrase.
Oh,
No, no,
interesting.
but that's a important thing about the game. I mean, when you usually place,
Yeah,
wow, now the Dominic is going for it, right?
she is. I'm really, that was that interaction when Madhu put his knight there on I7. I was super interested to see what she would do. So this is interesting.
Because I think now this is an important part of the game to highlight too, because the order of the moves uh, are important, right? It matters a lot if you're attacking the player who gonna play after you or who play right before, right? Pre.
Mm-hmm. It really does. And I think it's like, it's always, woo.
Oh, you
Oh,
see, because now we have a double attack on as green attacked black and
John came
red
in.
get to play before, so you have double attack and it's hard to defend. So
Yeah.
I think that's what you were saying, right? Attacking someone who you want to pick up this line and continue with the explanation of this point.
No, with you. I think like it is interesting. I don't know that I had like something super insightful to add, but I think that's always super fascinating when I find like when you're playing a game when you're coming from a particular color and then so say like in this case for Madhu because he's black, like it just in the order of moves, his entire game changed in like the span of 3 moves because like because you have 4 players and so like you kind of get caught in this idea where I don't know, it's so interesting where like you can't always predict what's going to happen. Like someone like John could have chosen to not come in to that attack at that point and then it would have been a super different game because then like Mother would have had a certain kind of advantage because he was well placed but there's simply nothing you can do if you have um kind of 2 people on your tail like that and it's so much worse
Yeah,
when
no, but I think that's maybe a good strategy to do, right? Which is like never make yourself vulnerable to the
yeah,
person on your left. Like Madhu put the horse there, and he
for
made
sure,
himself vulnerable, and
that's
and
true.
so you give the opportunity to the other 2 colors to attack. But I mean, it's not a rule, right? It depends so much of the game of how you're feeling the mood on the board and
Right.
etc. Right? Because Madhu is going for green, and maybe he
Even
was hoping for some help on that. Ooh, you see, now the pawn on I7 is pinned. It cannot move forward because otherwise white eats the. Well, not that it matters that much. I think it was just a thing to point out.
no, it's true. It's true. It's true. What do you it's interesting, right? Because I think with some of these things it's always a balance of strategy versus like remembering to be like present in the moment with these things because like let's say for example green chooses to go and kind of mount some sort of attack against black as well then the strategy that Madhu was clearly thinking of knowing that that pawn would be pinned if he moved his queen there will then get like disrupted and you always have to have the presence of mind to be like this is what I was planning and this is kind of like these moves are kind of changing that plan and this is what I have to do to make it all work um, because I always
Yeah,
find that I'm very hesitant to kind of do things like that when I realize that a pawn will be pinned or something's going to happen or something won't be protected enough because I'm a very cautious person like as a player sometimes um, And so that's super interesting for me when I see players doing that, because it's so like I have to believe that they have a strategy, right? And they're like thinking about like what they're going to do next. So
Yeah. Well, I think, wow, Madu's really proposing things, right? Yeah, and Wes, as we said, I mean, Madu proposing a trade,
uh-huh.
and Wes kind of back off, right? He said.
Yeah.
I mean, Madu seems the most vulnerable on the board right now, right?
He
He
does.
lose a horse. Actually, I think he was the only. Oh, John lose a horse too. How that happened? I completely missed. I think we're chit chatting so much that I didn't. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, of course he eats the Madu super pawn was a sacrifice. But Madu has like he doesn't have the super pawn, so I think he's trying to propose attacks to other colors probably to put the attention away. But he just, oh, look how interesting. Madu puts his horse there,
Ooh.
and the white bishop protects it, and at the same time that the red bishop, you see, he's
Yeah.
using the bishop of white and red to protect his horse at the same time.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's really
That's
interesting.
very cool. But see, what's interesting here is that green could then take. No. Oh, green would lose. Well, but see, the interesting thing is, and actually, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. Whenever you do that, whenever you're in line of two bishops, you're kind of gambling that people aren't going to be willing to make that trade, and like in the order of pieces, right? So like, do you ever trust players enough to just like not choose to just take your knight if you use a spot as like a double protected spot, the way you said
Oh
it?
yeah, for sure. I did that. I mean, depends a lot on the players and what kind of game are you playing, right? You're playing the final of a tournament. Yeah,
Right.
maybe not, but I mean, if you're playing like a daily game on Discord, for sure it makes it fun, right? Because I
Sure.
think we play one of the games, and I think Morozevich brought up that he used to test players, right? So he used to test. So in this kind of sense, you test this situation, right? You see how willingly are red and white to make some action or not. Of course, it can change during the game, but generally speaking, you kind of get a feel of how what is the mood at the moment, right? And I
Right.
think it reminds me a lot, the Formula One racing, Ayrton Senna. I saw a documentary about him, and I was fascinated because a racer told that he used to, like, when he was doing the curves, he used to put the car and put himself in a situation that they could hit each other, right? And it was about the other racer to pump the brakes and or not, right? So he gives the choice to the other racer.
Got
And
it.
if the
Yeah.
racer crashes with him, he will know that this guy will always crash. And if the racer not, he will know that the guy will always pump the brakes and he will be able to pass, right? So it was
Right.
really interesting and I
He
think these
plays that.
situations are really interesting so you can feel like, for instance, Wells is a very conservative player,
Yeah.
as I feel I got for him, right, in his play. And he's a very solid one, a very good one. I'm not saying
No,
any
of
good or
course.
bad on that, right? But you see that he choose to wait and see. I think maybe better
Yeah.
the conservative. I would say Wes is a wait and see kind of
Yeah.
player. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's a long he plays for the end of the game much times, right? As though I know he loves the first checkmate. You can see that the bishop on b1,
Yep.
it's like line if he puts the queen on c2, he I
Yes.
mean, he can do a strong attack on black. So even though it's really far away, because you can see black has like a queen, a rook, and a bishop protecting L11, he's
Yeah.
already planning that. He say, well, maybe in a minute I can
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
some fun there. So
No, for sure. That's super interesting. I really appreciate that thing with the F1 racing, because you never think about. I would never have thought about it like that. So it's really interesting.
yeah, and I think for me the fun part about the game is because, as you said, there's so many possibilities. It's hard for you cannot like 100% predict the thing, right? So you need to kind of have the feeling of the. For instance, we are talking a lot, right? So I cannot say I'm the best moment of an analysis, but I'm saying that Madu is really proposing things, right?
Yeah, he is.
And I think it's a player that it's gonna be more open to do a joint attack with you if you need him. Wes, maybe maybe yes, maybe not. I would not be so sure looking at the game, at this
Mhm.
moment. So I think that really makes the position. You cannot just take the position into account. You need to take the mood of the players, right?
For sure. I
Makes sense for
totally.
you?
It does. I think completely does. Because I think that like I'm with you in that it's also contextual. If there were four different people in this exact position, it would be a completely different game, and it would play out very, very differently. So I'm totally with you. There's also the question of like, would four other players even be in this position in the first place? And like, you never know because there's always infinite possibilities, right? So that's interesting. But I've definitely noticed that in Madhu's playing is like he's very social. Like he really treats it as like
Yeah.
going out and coming back in and like, oh, but let's do this or think about this or let's propose this. And it's very cool. Very, very social as a player. Whereas
And
I think I agree with this is much more reserved in that sense.
yeah, that's actually I never thought about it this way. And yeah, Madhu is a very social person indeed, so makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Madhu, he's probably not hearing us, but hopefully he will see after.
I think he will. I'm really interested. And in the meanwhile, it's interesting because, like, in some ways, you can really see their personalities as people because John is really in such a solid position right now and is like so well protected, so well defended, just like in his corner and waiting to see like what the next thing is going to be. Um,
Yeah, but at the same time, he's very willingly to join some action, right?
yeah,
And that, I mean, at least that's John. At least since when I met him, he's a very has a really good structure. But if you reach out, he's something say, yeah, let's talk, let's interact, right? So yeah, that's
definitely.
amazing. I wow, that's really cool. It's a really cool way of think about the game.
Madhu is so
Yeah.
exposed right now. Oof.
Yeah, maybe he's
Ah,
kind of.
stressed out for him.
But sometimes when it's funny when you play like the crazy guy, you just start like trading things, or girl, or woman, or man, or you just start like trading things, and so people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna mess
Ooh,
with these people," right?
oh my God, Dominique.
It was a good attack on the G12 rook, right? It's unprotected. Oh, actually not by the queen. It's protected by the queen.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
So
But still, oh,
yeah,
okay, that's a good move. That's another thing I notice a lot when seeing these attacks is like, are you going to choose to move the piece that is under attack, or are you going to defend it by like placing another piece in front of it? Always an interesting choice. Like it's not always clear to me which one is the better thing to do because I suspect there's no rule. But that's interesting. I didn't catch that he could have moved. Dominic is really going for this attack. This is wild.
I
I
think
want to go for this drama. This is great.
I think Madhu is receiving some heat. Yeah, and then John joined the attack. Yep,
Hmm.
that's a good. That's a good. That's a good
That
call.
is that what we think? Is Madhu the first checkmate of the night?
The Madhu, sorry. Oh,
Is
the
Madhu
first checkmate of the night. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
still
I
has a
mean,
shot?
I think Wes doesn't seem very much likely to join the action, right?
Yeah,
And I think unless Dominique do, wow,
that was unprotected. No, it's not. Oh, oh, ooh. Ah,
no, yeah,
pony party. We're never gonna
yeah,
get it.
Madhu doesn't have the punies anymore. I think he's
Oh,
The dream is gone. Oof. Now it's starting to get ugly. Yeah, now I think maybe Madhu will be the first checkmate of the night.
Yeah. Well,
He
it's
needs to
interesting. Go on. He
no
needs
no
to.
no he needs to protect his rooks, right? But
Yeah.
it's hard to have an exposed
Yeah.
line like this. But you're saying interesting?
Yeah. I was just gonna say it's interesting, but when you were saying that you weren't sure if Wes was gonna jump into the attack, um, Dominic's going hard right now towards black. What's really interesting is when I've played with Wes and like when we were on Discord and like talking while playing, he has like he's very kind in his approach and like he's always like, oh, it's not fair if everyone's attacking one player. Like at this point it's a little bit different because now it's pretty clear that everyone's going for that first checkmate, right? But he tends to kind of think from that angle as well. It's like, is it like a fun game if you're just all attacking one person at the same time? And sometimes it might be like it's definitely good entertainment, but that's an interesting perspective that I was thinking of when you made that comment. That's all.
No, yeah, but that makes sense. And Wes, he's attacking the green bishop at the same time, so
This is true.
that's an interesting. I mean, what he doing actually? Maybe he's
Yeah.
doing both and see what comes out of it, right?
Well, because that bishop is unprotected. So that actually would not be a bad move by any means. If he wants to help Madhu. The other
Yeah.
thing is that like for the game, right? For where the game is it the right thing to not just like get that checkmate given that it's so close at this point? Interesting.
Well, but I think Wes can because the bishop and the queen are a strong attack here, the white bishop and the white queen, right?
Yeah.
It's a strong attack, and West seems to be planning it.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know. Madhu still have like strong pieces. He still have the two rooks. He still have the queen. He still have the bishop. The
Yeah.
the the point is about how he's gonna be able to protect himself and the structure. This is always something that I find hard. Is like when you lose the structure of the central pawns. Is how
Yeah.
to stay in a place when you feel safe, a place that you can call home. And it's good to do that. And I'll always manage to put himself in like a right a safe spot. And I mean, actually, I was playing a game yesterday. I was playing a live game, of course, but an in-person game with like the real board and the real pieces, and it's really fun, really
Mm,
fun. It's different, and there's like this first team. They were playing blacks too, and they were like massacred at the beginning. Everyone attacking, double, triple attack, and
right.
they ended up winning the game. I mean, they ended up they have like a queen, a rook, and a horse, something like this, and everyone still has an army. But the thing developed to a
Right.
point where they won the game. They won, and I
Wow.
think it all about like the dynamics of the game. Everything can happen, depends of how the attention. And that's another point that I find really interesting on the game is like how to how to understand the momentum, right? And how to like, where to attack and what is happening and I think that give the victory to that team yesterday.
For sure. Dude, that's actually such an interesting point because you're so right. I feel like, and I think that's something to be said for your experience playing as well. Like the more you play, the more you learn how to read those situations because you're totally right. Like, and then Madhu was like a very good player, so he could fully come back from this checkmate somebody else, get their army, and then he might end up winning for sure. But I think like that's something that I noticed in my own like journey as I've been playing Quaternity is that at the beginning I would just be focused on just make a move, make this next move, just think about the next step, like because I was so overwhelmed at first. and it's kind of scary, right? Because it's such a big board. You can't really, it takes a second to learn how to see it, learn when to look at what part, what's important, what's not, right? And you keep learning. But I think like as I've been going forward, it's exactly what you said that I feel is like for me really kind of like dictates what I've learned is that you learn how to judge where the attention's going, where the energy's flowing, whether an attack feels like it's going to be a successful one, whether you want to join in, whether you want to pull back. And that's what starts making it more fun, I feel like. Ultimately, you can learn a lot of new tactics and strategies, but like really paying attention to those details is really what makes the game so interesting, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally agree. That makes the difference at the end of the day, right? Which is like you, yeah, you're doing the movement in the right time as well. And I think that's an interesting point. People usually, we have some players, when you start playing Quaternity and you're in a situation like Madu, many people feel to resign, right? They want,
Yeah.
because they feel like they don't have any pieces and it, all this kind of thing. And that's really interesting because Quaternity have 4 armies and you think, oh, so it's 2 times harder than chess, right? And I think, no, actually it's it's hard to compare. I don't want to say, but it's like a conversation. When you, as you have like 4 teams, you can just stay quiet a little bit. You don't have to always be, because here's me and you, and we are interacting with each other all the time. But if we have like 2 people more here with us, one can be quiet for a little bit and think and take a look. So I think the same on the game, right? So you don't have the pressure all of always being interacting, and that's
Yeah.
in these situations like the ends of the game, or when you're like, if Madu succeeds in being like invisible for a moment, he may be in a good position, as in my game yesterday, right? I
Yeah.
think that's
Very, very
that's
yeah.
in chess you cannot do it because it's two, so you cannot, the other, you are always the attention of other player. Wow, John's going for it, right?
It really is. You know, you're reminding me of something. You're reminding me of a different game I played once where I think this player was green and they were not doing very well at all. I think it was actually the last game we commentated. Um, and we kept thinking like green's not doing very well, they're going to be checkmated soon, they should just stay quiet and it'll pass. Like at least for us it felt like it was so obvious if they just kept quiet and just like sat in their corner, it would pass, it would be fine. But I think green was so ready to like go out and like make their voice known and like, okay, if I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me. And like I don't think it was necessarily an aggressive energy, but I think they were very much in that mood. And we were just like, no, dude, just stop, just shoot, just like be quiet. Just it's okay. Don't do anything. And it was really funny because that's what you're reminding me of. Is like if Madhu plays his cards right, I think you're totally right. He could like kind of come back from this.
Wow, it was a bold move from Dominique. She offers a trade. Madu can take the queen and k2 and trade.
No. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ooh, but West just jump and rescue, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at West. Such a gentleman.
See, this is why no matter what he does, I'm always just like, oh, okay, but you're there.
No, but I think, I mean, Madu, to be honest, it's a, actually he gave away his bishop because Dominique can take the bishop. Oh, but Madu, I see. Because Madu's black rook on I12 protects
Yeah.
the white bishop as well as the
Yeah,
queen
yeah,
b.
yeah.
But I think Madu is having a hard time because he's the only one who was actively attacked, right? You can see
Yeah,
that none of the other colors was like actively attacked. And it's cool, it's part of the game. And I
for
think
sure.
that's part of Madu's trying to oh, good move, good defensive move, defend the
Yeah,
queen and the rook at the same time, right? So
yeah.
they
Very
were
nicely.
both under attack.
Yeah, see, because
But
now
I
if
think,
John takes that queen, he will lose his queen also, which I don't think he'd be willing to do.
it's been a hard game to Madu, and
It really has.
I mean 156 move, and he's still alive. So
Yeah, he's honestly like it's such a testament to how good he is. He's like really played his cards well. Given that you're right. Actually, you're totally right. Been the only person who everybody kind of attacked at some point. Um, so good for him.
Yeah, and I think that's hard, right? Because Wes likes to wait a little bit. I mean, everyone propose things sometimes in it, but normally speaking, Wes kind of likes to jump into action. And John, I mean, everyone is proposing action towards Mado. I think Wes proposed action to John at the beginning of the game a little bit, but yeah, it's hard when you. Ooh,
This is interesting. Oh no.
Dominique threatening a check on L5, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, but Mado's close to. I mean, Mado has a strong attack on K1. Oh, you see that? Interesting. West took the lead on Black threatening the queen. And
This is interesting. John has to watch his time. Actually, so does Dominique. Both of them.
now, what John would do will protect his queen, or will take the horse, counting of Mado's protecting himself from the check instead of taking his queen. That's an interesting.
Yeah, and also counting on Dominique to actually make the check. Because Dominique can choose to not do that, and then John would lose his pieces. Right?
Well, now Mado is in trouble.
Yep.
Mado is in trouble. Well, Mado can put.
He could block with the rook, right, on LA. Like he could shift
Yeah,
the rook on K8 to LA. That would be
but his rook on I11 is double attacked, right? It's triple attacked, sorry. And if Mado will lose it if he doesn't do anything with that situation. So, all
Ooh.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
What was
Oh,
will do?
Wes has checkmate, doesn't he? Oh no, he doesn't. Not yet.
Where? I cannot see because the key, black and blocking with different pieces, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought he had made, but he doesn't. He's close, but not quite.
Oh, that was interesting, John. But I mean, that's something I think of when you play this game, right? Because Wes is Wes, who you propose the first attack, right? That's an interesting situation, right? I think that's some people like to attack the strongest player on the board. Some people like to attack the weakest player on the board, and that's wow. Oh, that's hard for Madhu.
Yeah, poor
He
guy.
probably needs to sacrifice. Ooh, I think Red has a checkmate.
So green, what do you think will happen? Because I was thinking if green moves her rook up to J12, the queen is
Well,
pinned.
Black can block with the bishop, right, on K12.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so what would red do? How would red have mate?
Well, and then if Red probably will take with the queen with the bishop. Ooh, Bamadu. Oh,
Yeah.
That was really actually that was a good move. Oh, but actually there's a checkmate. Oh, you see, because L11 is checkmate for red. Queen
Oh,
L11
yep. L11.
and oh, but green could have stopped it with the rook on J11. If the
Yeah,
green put the rook on J11, it would stop. And maybe Madu was counting on that.
yeah,
But there's nothing white can do at this moment, I think.
yeah. No, I think you're right. I think John has it.
And I think that's an interesting situation about strategic playing. Like you see, West is really much close on in his space right now. You see,
Yeah,
he cannot do anything to interfere with that situation. Well, what he did was threaten the queen,
yeah. So
so
even if
red
John,
doesn't get two queens. Yeah, but it's hard when you have like a checkmate situation close. Yeah, good checkmate of John.
nicely done.
Yeah, and Madu, I mean, there was a beautiful move by Madu. It was like, I mean, Green, and that was interesting because Green was again pounding, 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 and Madu was defending. And so Madu at the end of the game say, his game at least, say, hey, you know what? This is your chance to save me, and not to. I mean, so you don't give the checkmate away, but I think
Yeah,
probably Green thought it was a checkmate and missed it, unfortunately.
yeah. Oh, but Madhu's so well played. So well done. Like
That was a beautiful
174
move.
moves. That's unreal. Very,
That was
very
a
well done.
beautiful move. It's such a cool move with the queen
Yeah,
and offering this possibility because you see, right? If Green puts the rook on J11,
yeah. It would have
it would
blocked the
have
mate. Yeah.
been it would have blocked mate. I think there was not mate, and so well, John now has 2 points, and
I wonder what
let's
Dominique
see.
is.
You wonder what? Sorry,
I was gonna say I wonder what Dominique is going to do. Um,
I think she's. I don't know. I think she thought it was a mate. Makes makes more sense to me, right? Good one from John. I see that. That's a good one.
yeah, very, very, very nicely done.
Yeah, let's see what happens now. Probably green and white will get resentful, as always happens in Tech John. It happens with me a lot. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna checkmate you, so I feel better, which is very childish, but it's fun nevertheless. So
Yeah, I mean, it's still a game. Like,
yeah.
oh, that was cool. There was a brief moment. I have a really funny thing with numbers, and there was a brief moment where so John's time is 1, 2, 3, and Wes's time was 4, 5, 6, and it was very cool.
Oh,
For like a
that was
second, it was
cool.
so
I will
uh,
get back on the live so I can see that once it's here.
oh, oh my
And I
god.
think that's an interesting point about many people ask, oh, why the first checkmate has 2 points and the second and third is only 1 point. I think that's something that the people have been playing a lot of this game, right? And we realize that usually the person who does the first checkmate expose him or herself too much. You see, John is very much exposed right now, and
Yeah,
usually the other two players gang up
the first
on this
thing that
player for obvious reasons, right? Everyone, because if this player get another checkmate, it wins the game and etc. So it seems fair that the person who like makes the effort to complete the first checkmate uh, and expose him or herself in that situation
should get the two
should
points.
yeah should get the 2 points. See, because now it's I mean, Queen is threatening a check on a e12. Next one, Queen eating the b8 pawn, so
Right.
it's hard for John.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you.
Oh, I should. Sorry, shoulders back. My yoga teacher would not be happy with me. Just get in the spring, right? So yeah.
Oh, do you know it's funny you say that because I spend a lot of time, sometimes even when I'm sitting in class, I will like do this and like sit with correct posture. And I think I probably look so crazy to the people around me who have no idea why suddenly I'm just adjusting myself.
Oh, sorry, Dominique just lost by time.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, now we have a zombie. Now we have a
wow.
zombie. Oh, what do you
Oh,
think? Oh,
that's fun
what?
because John was kind of lost here, right?
Yeah.
Green and white going was a hard. I mean, he was not lost. Sorry, he still has the chance. Anything can happen, but it was not looking good for him. And now, actually,
Now
he's
he
still
could
in a
get
difficult position. Yeah,
no, but he could get mate.
can't
He's
be the
actually
zombie.
yeah, he could make the zombie. He's better placed, I think, than Wes is at the moment to get the zombie mate.
Yeah, because I think how many moves does? Oh, he need two moves, just two moves.
Yeah, he needs two
Look,
moves
Rook
and he can get it.
K2, Queen
Yeah.
L2 is checkmate.
Yep.
Oh, you
Exactly.
can do
He's
it,
so
John. Oh, and Mado is just on the chat. Oof, that was crazy. Great checkmates. Hey, congrats.
oh
Congrats, congrats,
John.
congrats, Mado.
No, yeah, yeah. Madhu's so well done. Very, very well done.
Hard game for you, brother. I mean, strong attack in your direction, right?
Yeah.
Just walk with the pawn. He can walk with the pawn, actually. Yeah, next one is
Come
checkmate.
on, do it, do it, do it. Get the zombie.
Oh, no, no, but actually, Wes has a checkmate now. Oof.
How?
Bishop G7.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, it was the other way around, John. Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
We were
We
literally
were,
talking about it at the beginning. It's so hard to see it when you're in the
yeah,
moment. And John is on 30 seconds, so he must
yeah.
feel that like pressure as well.
And yeah, we were cheering for John. So, but we love you nevertheless, Les.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. Now, I think John's secret weapon. He can just offer draw, 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 draw.
Oh my god.
Oh, John must be really unhappy at this
Yeah,
moment.
I think I'm really interested. I wonder if he'll go back and see that he had the mate sitting there, like he was so close. Um, which is hard. Life is hard.
Yeah, but I think he thought the other way around, which was not entirely wrong, right? But
Yeah,
he,
would protect
anyway,
her. Yeah,
that's how you learn it, right?
true.
Yeah,
And he's still, well, no.
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, this game is only going one way at this point.
Yeah, now it's time for trades. Rook E8. No, lose the.
Mm,
Now he lose the rook. Yep.
yeah. Uh, I mean, John actually has a higher chance of losing by time than he does of being mated at this point, I think. Because I don't know, do you think Wes has it in 14 seconds?
Sorry.
Do you think Wes has mate in 14 seconds? Like in like that?
Oh, I see. Yeah, probably John will lose by time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he'll move fast and
Maybe. No, I think it's more
draw,
likely that
draw, 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 draw.
John wouldn't do that though. He's too much of no, but he's gonna lose by time. No, oh,
Wow, good move actually.
everyone's really putting up such a fight in this game. I'm really impressed. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Can I just
Wow.
point out I was correct at the beginning of this game? I said Wes would win. I'm always right. We should always listen to me.
Well,
But
depends. Depends a lot because actually in the points we can all see on the left part of our screen they're tied up in 2 points, and depends on actually depends. There's some tournaments where the first checkmate weights more, and actually John would be the champion or something like this. It depends a lot, right? Depends a lot.
Okay.
Many times things go to like kind of a penalty shoots with the bots. It's really
Really?
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
very cool.
I saw one once. It was really fun.
Very, very cool. Well, for all intents and purposes, Wes is the one being congratulated. So I do that
All
to you a lot.
right, all
I'm
right.
kidding. Honestly, like jokes apart, like everyone was actually really phenomenal. I thought it was such a good game.
Yeah,
Really.
I mean, it was interesting. Madu, I think, like Dominique really proposed a lot of action in this game. I think she was the one who made things running. Madu protected himself really well. I think he was really eager to start some action too, and he
Yeah.
unprotected himself towards green, which opened himself to an attack, double and triple attack, which was hard for him, right? John, I think John was amazing to jumping on the right time to do the checkmate,
Yeah.
and Wes play a solid game as he always play. He's such a he's a really solid player, right? He really
Yeah.
positions himself good in the game. So
And very solid is such a good word for him because it's very like you can always depend that he will play a certain style of game, like a very not predictable, but like predictable is not the right word, but that's why solid is exactly the right word. It's a very solid game.
yeah.
So very good descriptor.
Well, it was really fun to be here with you, Pri, actually, and with Laura in the chat and Madhu. There's a particular moment of the game that you like it most?
Oh, I think one of my favorite parts was I think a couple moves towards the end when Mother was defending himself. Um, I'm trying to remember when it was. Let me scroll back down.
Yeah, find the number and or
Yeah.
our tech operator will put it on the screen so everyone can look. And while you're
Uh,
doing that, Laura asked, where can I see more tips and rules about the game? Well, so it's good to remind everyone that like we have in our YouTube, we had a YouTube channel, of course, we are here, right? But we have like an Instagram too, and have a Facebook too. When we have a lot of videos, we can have a series of rules which are really, really cool and interesting that explain how zombie works, explain how checkmates works, and all of the fun things about checkmates. And we can have our Discord server as well. You can all find this in the first page of our engine, play.quaternity.com. We have a little pop-up with all our addresses on social media, right? And then everyone can, we have our Discord server where you can jump in games and play with other people and keep track of everything that's happening, everything that's new. We have the YouTube shows as well. So we are here, and there's a lot of good stuff to surf through, right?
for sure. There's a lot of stuff, and it's super helpful. The rules especially are one of my favorite things to look through, just to kind of like brush up on, like the basics of understanding that having a good foundation to build off of and think of all these really cool strategies. Um, so yeah, no, I think thanks for the question, Lara. That was very cool to remind people of. I found the move number for this, and I'm thinking of move number 170, like right before,
170.
like very close to Madhu being checkmated, but it wasn't quite there yet.
Oh, you telling about the Madus move 171 or
Yes,
John moves 170?
Madhu's move 171, John's 170. I mean, just like it started for me, it started in my head at 170, and then like Madhu's defense, I thought was like very cool. It's like one of the best things he could have done in that moment. So Madhu played a
Yeah,
very defensive game. I thought, like, I mean, well,
I
not
totally,
defensive, but yeah, defending game.
no, and I totally agree with you. For me, that was a very beautiful moment, and I see many of the games because I mean, been playing this game a bit, and you can always check. I have a live with Cashville when we suffer. It's kind of the same dynamic when people are attacking you, yeah, it's happening, right? It's part of the game, and it's fun. It's a good practice, and it's a really interesting thing to live, right? And I think it's really hard because you see that you're in a weak position. Everyone wants to checkmate. What can you do? And I think Mado's ear was like a cry for help. I think so. I'm completely. Mado's on the chat. He can say if I'm wrong, but it seems like completely cry for like, hey, guys,
Yeah.
I can't do anything else than that. I mean, just give me a hand here. Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks, man. You just like it just and it's nice because green was supposed to be your I mean the green attack you the whole game and it was hard and you can get like resentful, but I think in this situation green was the only one who can do actively do something and maybe change the balance of the game, and I think was really nice. I think was a really interesting attitude from Madu, right? Say asking for help in a way, right? So
Yeah. No, it was very. Yeah,
maybe
I
a
think
little
like
bit
that moment
philosophical, right?
was interesting. What about you? Did you have a moment that you also liked?
This one actually we had the same moment. This was the moment I thought because it was really, really, really. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I've been in this situation. I can relate a lot with that. It's just like, I mean, I give up. Just give me some help here.
You know what
Uh,
this reminds me of? Of there's a game that you played on a Blitz show. I think it was one of the episodes with Felipe and Cash and that. And you I honestly still sometimes laugh at that moment where you're just like, it's like the killer whales with the baby seals, and you're like, Felipe's gonna help me, Felipe's gonna help me, and he never came.
it never came. The help never came. Like, help, Philippe, you help. And it was, yeah, that's an interesting. That's really interesting in this game. How you, it's such an interesting situation, right? And I think again, Wes in the like Wes. I mean, because if you go to move 172, Dominique missed that miss or didn't want it. I mean, Dominique could say, "Hey, I don't want to help you too." That's completely reasonable, right? I mean, and Wes was in a position that he could not help. So that's
Yeah.
interesting too. I mean, how could you position yourself? All of this assuming that people are trying to avoid the first checkmate. That's something that I usually would do, right? Because we won the 2 points. In this case, Madu had a queen and all of this kind of things. Anyway, I think I think that's it.
That is it for me. Um, Thank you for joining me for this last hour. This was very, very fun.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, it was nice to to have this conversation, right? And I think we have a really a really good dynamic. We did not tease each other as much as we do. So
Yeah, but no worries, y'all. If you ever want to see Chico and I taking the piss, you can just watch upcoming Blitz shows and you'll see it there.
yeah, that was
But
fun. That was
but
fun.
yeah, thank you all for joining. Like Chico mentioned before, we have a lot of really cool content up on our YouTube. You can check out our Blitz shows if you want to see like more of us playing the game. You can check out our puzzle rooms if you want to solve puzzles with us. Chico's on our puzzle rooms and it's always very, very on point. And yeah, we have a lot of really cool people doing a lot of really cool things. I hope we'll see you again. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.